Hello, and welcome back to InTheScare, where every week I watch one scary movie and break down three scenes that terrify, frighten, or freak us out, just to see why they're so scary. This week, Signs. Made in 2002, directed by M. Night Shyamalan, starring Mel Gibson, Joaquin Phoenix, Rory Culkin. What is Signs? It's a film about believing. It asks you to see a man who was built on belief, who brought his kids up on faith and religion. It's showing you what could happen to somebody when you take all of that away from them, to make them feel like it was all a lie. Signs does have some legitimate scares in it. Fear of the unknown, fear of the known. But the greatest fear that it has is belief.
Are you the kind who sees signs, sees miracles? Or do you believe that people just get lucky?
Do you believe that there is meaning to everything? That these signs are worth paying attention to? Because that means that if there is some master plan, if there is some higher power, for some reason within that plan, his wife had to die. To be hit by a car, pinned against a tree.
Pinned in such a way that it's alive when it shouldn't be alive.
Why would this higher power do something like this? Why would that be in the plan? Why would someone like her have to die? And it's fun to watch characters unravel, especially in M. Night Shyamalan's movies. The way he lays out the clues for you to find, creating tension between his characters, creating tension within his characters. Chills at the end of the movie, as the alien is holding his son Morgan, and Graham starts to put everything together. The water, his wife's final words. All of the signs begin to mean something. The moment you realize that this was all planned, and that even perhaps his son having asthma so that the poison could never enter his lungs.
What happened?
It leaves you breathless. And so how does someone regain faith? How does he forgive an unspeakable act against the one he loved? What does it mean for him to realize everything does have purpose? There is a plan, and that you should always look for the signs. Scare number 1, the leg move. Started with a big crop circle. Then the dogs started acting funny. Then they started hearing different things on the news. The big thing here is the father does not believe, but the children do. Well, one night he decides to go out into the yard and he starts to hear some noises in his crops.
You're wasting your time here.
He goes out to inspect the crop circles, and suddenly he hears these weird clicking noises. What could it be? Silence. And now he feels a presence around him. He picks up the flashlight, clicks it on, and in the stillness, an alien foot steps up and back into the cornfield. So subtle, and yet so freaking chilling. This is one of those scares that you don't see coming. A million things could happen out here. The alien could attack him. He could run into the alien. He could see the face. He could see fangs. He could see claws. He could see things moving that are unexplained. But no, M. Night Shyamalan decides we're gonna keep it simple. A foot, a leg will slowly move out of frame, and it scares the crap out of him. And he gets up and runs home as fast as he can, and now he's a true believer. I love it. I love scares like this because you don't see them coming and they're so rare. What also works here is the way that the leg of the alien is camouflaged. I mean, you have these long, thin stalks of corn, and standing right next to it is this lanky, thin leg that you don't see at first. It's almost like a trick of the eye, and then it just moves. And when people watch this movie, sometimes they go, well, you know, whatever, it's a leg, yeah, there's aliens, but you gotta get into it a little more. Hear the music. Feel what this guy's feeling. You know, he really doesn't believe anything is happening here. But how can you not after that? Spooky. Scare number 2. Grabbed by the gate.
What?
The aliens are invading. And they're not just here on Earth, finally. They're here in their house. The aliens are trying to get in. They've barricaded the door, but they can hear them making noises. Graham realizes that they're just making noises to scare them. And then his son Morgan remembers something he read, that the aliens are probably smart, and that they will find a way in. Graham then remembers,
They used to pour coal down in this basement.
and the search is on. The music swells, and Graham and his brother each have a flashlight searching around the basement for an alternate entrance. There's gotta be something. They can feel the air coming in from certain areas, and they are searching and searching, one flashlight on one side, one flashlight on the other side. Then they both come together and look and point their lights at Morgan, who's standing in front of a gated entranceway that they didn't see before. The camera stays on him for a beat too long. Something's up. Then back at the dad and the uncle, then back at Morgan. What's going to happen? Why are we looking at him for so long? Then we see it. There's an alien hand reaching over the gate. It's been there the whole time, and it just reaches in front of Morgan and grabs him. I love it. I mean, there's an element of camouflage here that Shyamalan's playing with. You know, it happened in the cornfields with the leg. Now he's doing this thing where, yeah, it seems like the alien skin is maybe some sort of translucent material, or at least they can camouflage. But it's just so cool how the shot progresses. We know that something is wrong here because the flashlights are pointed at him. The music's been swelling, and now it's stopped, and there's dead silence. And so we have all of these cues that tell our brain something scary is going to happen here. What is going to happen here? And again, it's just a subtle little thing. It's been there the whole time. If you go back and watch the shot, it's there. You can see it. Yeah, it's camouflaged, but it's there. It gives you, this whole movie gives you chills. And a lot of that, I will have to say, is how the sound design is done and the music. Because, you know, some of this stuff without music, and this goes for most scary movies, it's nothing. Scare number 3. The pastor's wife.
Scare her. And tell Graham.
Come here.
Tell him. See. Tell him to see. And tell Meryl to swing away.
The last scare I want to talk about here is pretty heavy. You know, it's not gonna be something that you see in a scary movie that haunts your dreams or lives in your nightmares. So what's happened is the pastor's wife got in a car accident. Throughout the movie, we get these little flashbacks from what he remembers. We see flashes of an ambulance. We see flashes of him driving up to talk to the police officer. She's been pinned against a tree with the truck that hit her.
And she was pinned between the two.
What does that mean, pinned?
This is going to be the last time that he's going to get to talk to her, because she's pinned in such a way that the lower half of her body isn't there anymore. And if they remove the truck, you know, she'll die.
The truck has severed most of her lower half.
What did you say?
I gotta hand it to Mel Gibson in this movie. He delivers some of these lines so believable that you get chills just from listening to the way they're talking. And the cop, who I know from many other things, I don't know her name off the top of my head, but
I want you to come down here and be with her as long as she's awake. And it won't be very long. Father, do you understand what I've told you?
Caroline, this is the last time I'm going to talk with my wife.
Yes, it is.
And then you get to the end of this movie and you realize over time this is the event that caused the rift in his faith.
Tracy, I am not a reverend anymore.
This is what made him stop being a pastor and denounce his religion. His wife, from all we know, was a great person, got hit by a car and pinned, her body severed, no chance at life, by someone who fell asleep at the wheel. Someone I might also note is M. Night Shyamalan.
I'm screwed, right?
You have all this natural audio of the crime scene going on, and you have now the final moment where he walks over to his wife, and we see her. And she's just laying on the truck, and he talks to her, fighting back tears. She tells him a few things to tell their children, and she tells him two things that are key to the end of this story. And now we get the Shyamalan twist. We get it. We finally get it. It's something that people talk about in all his movies, but she says, tell Graham to see. Now, first of all, he thinks, okay, she doesn't know that I'm Graham, that I'm her husband. He's like, okay, yes. He doesn't really say anything. And she says, and tell Meryl to swing away. And then we cut to the conversation that he had with Meryl earlier, because what Shyamalan's doing is he's revealing all the clues that he put in the movie. This is what he likes to do. He likes to show them to you again. He likes to say, look what I did, here, 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 here. And then we get the final scene, and Meryl takes the bat off the wall after he goes, swing away, Meryl. And he starts bashing in the alien, and we realize the alien, the water is the alien's kryptonite. Oh, guess what? Bo's been leaving water glasses all over the house for as long as she's been alive because she thinks water gets old and dusty. So there's all these water glasses everywhere that Meryl can just swing away and hit at. Now we come back outside, and after the alien has shot poison into Morgan, Graham there just struggling with the fact that maybe this was all meant to be. Maybe everything is for a reason, because he has asthma. He was having an asthma attack. His lungs are closed, so the poison didn't get in. So that final scare, it turns into something amazing. It really does. It turns into this I think is one of the best endings to a Shyamalan film, to this final reveal, to where you're just disheartened by this final moment between husband and wife, where you can't imagine, going through that, knowing that she's there in front of you with half her body cut off, slammed against a tree. And then Shyamalan just takes you on this ride. He finishes this character's arc of this broken man. Through the story of aliens coming down and invading Earth, he tells the story of a man who's broken and has to realize that he can still believe. He can still look at the signs and know there are no coincidences. If you like this video, please don't forget to like it and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you next time on In the Scare.